In the beginning, there was nothing. No matter, no time, no life. Then, out of the void, a voice. According to the ancient Hebrew scriptures and confirmed by the writings of the New Testament, this voice was not only God the Father, but the Word, Jesus Christ himself. The Gospel of John tells us that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made through him. Through Jesus, creation began. "Let there be light," the voice declared, and light pierced the darkness. It was the first division of time, day and night. Over the next 5 days, creation unfolded with stunning precision. The skies were drawn above, the seas formed below. Dry land emerged. From the earth came grass, trees and vegetation of every kind. The sun, moon and stars were placed in the heavens to mark seasons, days and years. Then the living creatures were brought forth. Fish filled the oceans, birds soared through the skies. Livestock and wild beasts roamed the land, but all of it led to a final masterpiece. On the 6th day, God, through Christ, formed humanity. From the dust of the ground he shaped a man and breathed into him the breath of life. His name was Adam. Unlike the animals, Adam was made in God's image. He was given dominion, authority, and a living soul. God placed Adam in a paradise called Eden, a garden rich in beauty water and fruit. But something was missing. God declared that it was not good for man to be alone, so he caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, took a rib from his side, and formed a woman. Her name was Eve. Together they were to live in harmony with creation and with God himself. In the garden there was freedom. Only one command was given: do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It was a test, not just of obedience, but of trust. During this time, both people and animals ate only plants. No creature killed another for food. The Bible states that God gave every green plant for food to all living beings. The original creation was one of peace, where death did not yet exist and no blood had been shed. But temptation found its way in. The Bible describes a serpent, subtle, cunning and deceptive. This serpent, later revealed to be Satan, approached Eve and questioned God's command. He offered a different version of the truth. "You will not surely die," he said. "You will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve took the fruit. She ate. Adam, standing with her, did the same. In that moment, their eyes were opened, and innocence was lost. Shame entered the human story. They realized they were naked and hid themselves, trying to cover what could not be undone. God came to them asking not because he didn't know, but because he wanted them to confess. Instead, they passed blame. Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed the serpent, but all were held accountable. God pronounced judgment. The serpent was cursed. The woman would suffer pain in childbirth. The man would labor to survive from the ground that was now cursed because of sin. And worst of all, they were cast out of Eden. Paradise was lost. They no longer had direct fellowship with God. Death had entered the world. Yet even in judgment, God showed mercy. He made garments of skin to clothe them, a foreshadowing that blood would be required to cover sin. It was the first hint of sacrifice, and the first sign that redemption would one day come through another. Outside the garden, Adam and Eve began life in a fallen world. Eve gave birth to 2 sons, Cain and Abel. Abel honored God with an offering from his flocks. Cain brought an offering from his crops. But God looked with favor on Abel's offering and not on Cain's. Jealousy began to grow in Cain's heart. God warned him, "Sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it." Cain ignored the warning. He lured his brother into the field and killed him. the first murder in human history. 1 generation removed from Eden, blood was already being shed by human hands. God confronted Cain. His answer was cold and defiant. "Am I my brother's keeper?" But God already knew. Abel's blood cried out from the ground. As punishment, Cain was cursed from the land and became a wanderer. Yet even then God marked him for protection, declaring that vengeance would fall on anyone who tried to kill him. These opening chapters of Genesis set the foundation for the entire biblical narrative. They explain the origin of the world, the dignity of humanity, the reality of sin, and the brokenness of the human condition. But they also point forward, toward hope, because even in mankind's earliest fall, God's plan for redemption was already at work. The New Testament later reveals that Jesus, the same one through whom all things were made, would also be the one to restore what was lost. Through him, light would once again overcome darkness. The story of Scripture had only just begun, and its ending would be far more powerful than its beginning. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about the Bible, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about what story you want to see next.